Minecraft is one of the most popular games ever, gathering millions of players since its debut in 2009. People worldwide love playing this game. Just in the past month, 1.5 million people logged on to just the Java edition of Minecraft. Who knows how many more players are playing on the various platforms that Minecraft has also released onto over the years. Hell, this game even runs on the Chromebook. Nothing runs on the Chromebook. Players show their love for Minecraft beyond just playing the game. If you look online, you'll see that there are communities, videos, mods, and all sorts of things relating to Minecraft that keep the game new and refreshing. Mojang has realized how big this community is and how much this game means to them. So the studio has held many community events ever since Minecraft's initial release over at Minecon. Now, this convention has gone through so many iterations, but the most recent is Minecraft Live, where they have taken the in-person convention to an online stream celebrating the game. During the stream, they showcase community-made content and other news to the game to celebrate another year of Minecraft. Oh, and of course, the infamous mob vote. Now, last year's mob vote got a little crazy for Mojang, but if you're unaware of what happened last year, I'll quickly explain it to you. The lineup for 2023's mob vote was between an armadillo, a crab, and a penguin. Now, these mobs did provide some cool new features, such as dog armor and the ability to increase your interaction distance, but people from the community really wanted all the mobs. From this, a lot of infighting started between the community, calling other people stupid for wanting what they thought would be a cool mob in favor of their cool mob, but thought began to circle around the community. Why can't we just have all of them? Soon, players realized this, and the situation got worse. People yelling at the Mojang devs, trying to put those devs to shame by comparing them to mod developers who they themselves didn't want anything to do with the drama that's happening. It even got to the point where people were creating war propaganda and signing a petition to outright cancel the mob vote. Now, first off, attacking devs in any way, shape, or form is stupid, and I don't think I need to explain myself here on how that's stupid, but at the same time, it's a valid question. Why can't Mojang just add in all three mobs? And also, while we're at it, why can't they just add more content in general? Well, what got people to this question in the first place? Well, let's look at Mojang. A company with the backing of Microsoft that expanded greatly over the years, having trouble adding in three silly little features? It's a little crazy to comprehend. But it's not as always straightforward as it sounds. Game development can have a lot of obstacles that may not have a simple answer. Although I can't say or even predict how long it will take for Mojang to create a new feature, I can at least talk about the various problems they may encounter. Assuming that Mojang is like most other game studios, they probably follow a process known as the content pipeline. The content pipeline is essentially a plan for turning an idea from someone's head into something a player can interact with in-game. You can also think of the pipeline as a step-by-step process as work on the idea progresses. Let's start with the first part of our content pipeline, the concept phase. This is where many ideas are created and sent into planning and discussion. At this phase, many mechanics are probably just words on a document and some sketches to visualize the look of the feature or how its mechanics can work. This is also the phase where many ideas end because they don't fit the game's overall design. I'll get into that later in the video, but for now, let's create our own mechanic to see how the content creation pipeline works. I have an idea for a chocolate bar that we can add to Minecraft. I think it could be a neat idea and gives more uses to cocoa beans and milk. It can help the player restore hunger, but let's also just say it can add a stat boost. Let's say haste. Just for fun. Definitely not the most ambitious of ideas, but I think it can be a fun idea to add in regardless. But before I can move on to the next step, I need to plan out what my mechanic can actually look like. So I went ahead and created some awesome concept art for my chocolate bar. What do you guys think? Now that I have everything ready, it's time to move on to the next phase, the implementation phase. This is a section where developers start programming, prototyping, and start adding art and sound to the mechanic. Also, this is the section where most problems start to appear. A common problem is performance issues. I would not be surprised if that's also the case with Minecraft. One thing to remember is that there are multiple versions of Minecraft. One of the versions is the Java edition of Minecraft, which is the original version of Minecraft created all those years ago. The Java edition is, of course, developed in the Java programming language. The other main version of Minecraft is the Bedrock edition, which is created in C++. The two main versions of Minecraft are created in completely separate code bases. Although Mojang has much experience constantly updating both versions with the most up-to-date content, it can take a long time to ensure both versions are as close as possible and that new features can function in both. One thing to focus on as well is the Bedrock Edition. Minecraft is available on multiple platforms through this version. Now, most of you may play this version if you're on the console. I know this is what I grew up playing most of the time. But the Bedrock Editions also include versions on iOS, Android, Fire tablets, and our good old friend, the Chromebook. Because of this, the Bedrock Edition must have a lot of optimizations and compatibility work done to ensure it can run on all platforms. The good news from this is that Bedrock Edition should be able to run on most devices, but the bad news is that this process most likely takes a while. With Minecraft being a multi-platform game with unified versions, that means if one version of the game is having issues with a new feature, but the other ones are ready to go, they still can't push the update until all versions are ready to go. Getting back on track for our chocolate making adventure, I'm going to go ahead and start implementing my idea. Thankfully, for the purpose of this video, I'm just making a mod for one version of Minecraft, just the computer, so I don't have to worry about like optimizations or all that kind of stuff. But before I reveal my finalized artwork for my chocolate bar, I want to let you know I reviewed this with my team of artist friends and they say it looks great, okay? So please, don't make fun of me. It's already been fact-checked by amazing artists and it's good to go. Getting back on topic, I should state that I don't have any quality control other than my artist friends telling me that my art's good. However, for a game studio like Mojang, the quality standard is set high for that kind of stuff because it's played by millions of players. That means that my artwork with 3 colors, no color blending at all, and definitely not appealing to the eye, is probably not going to get the thumbs up from someone at Mojang. This also brings us to another misconception during the implementation phase. Mojang has gained more employees over the years, and even though not all of those employees work directly on Minecraft, a big chunk does. For the main development team, a lot of work has to go into communication. The design, programming, art, and sound departments have to work closely with each other to make sure that they are working on what needs to be worked on. Also, the benefit of more people working on a project is that there are a lot more eyes, opinions, and possible solutions for any issues that come up. What if art needs support from the programming department for a new block they are working on? Same with programming working with design to make any changes to a new mob to better fit the designer's vision. Time has to be allocated for feedback or planning like this. In my situation, I don't need an answer to anybody, so I'm just gonna go ahead and release my chocolate mod out into the wild. This is where my pipeline ends, but for a studio, this is just the beginning of the end. This is where the testing phase starts. Before a company like Mojang can release something to the public, they must test their product. Even though they should have everything ready during the implementation phase, it's hard to account for so many problems that can pop up. This is where QA can come in. Not only does QA help find any possible bugs, but it also gives feedback for any other problems, such as if the UI for a new feature is complicated to look at or understand. And if a new feature affects multiple game systems, that testing process will most likely take longer. Developers must ensure that the games or updates are ready to release because unfinished products are always bad. Overall, technical issues hold back Mojang. I can't imagine the time it takes to create a version for every major platform and the Chromebook. I'm bringing this up because during the controversy, a mod developer was able to create the crowd from the mob vote as a mod for everyone to download. Now, no doubt, that is incredibly impressive to do in like 2 days. But Twitter used it as a fuel for an already big fire to throw more hate at the developers. It's also just an unfair comparison because of the reasons I've listed already. A dude on the internet doesn't have the same problems as a big studio, and he can release his mods whenever he feels like he can. It's even more unfair because Mojang has already laid out a visual and design concept for him. I'm not trying to put the guy down because regardless, doing something like that in such a short time span is impressive. I remember I did a game jam one time and on that 3rd day, I literally collapsed on the floor. Regardless, development delays don't outright mean a feature's not going to get added. We see delays all the time. We even saw this as the Caves and Cliffs update where they had to split the update in 2 because they had a lot of features ready, but they still needed more time to work on the world generation. But I don't think the question that we should all be asking is whether or not Mojang can add in everything. I think the question we should be asking is, should they? There's definitely no shortage of ideas when it comes to Minecraft. I'm sure you and I have had many ideas that we would love to see in Minecraft. I know for the longest time I wanted cooler world generation, so when the Caves and Cliffs update got announced, I was extremely excited. Some other things that I would love are more decoration blocks. However, Mojang faces a problem deciding on what features to implement and the broad player base it has to appeal to. Thinking about the context Minecraft is currently in and how many people play it, you need to create an update that almost every player can enjoy. which is an impossible task considering all the different things players like about the game. There's bound to be a player disappointed with an update. I know that for several updates over the years, I didn't really care about the content being added. I love the exploration and base building aspect of Minecraft, but I don't really care for the combat or making my world as efficient as possible. And I know for a fact that there's a huge chunk of players in Minecraft that have no interest or have any idea how redstone works at all. But there's still a big chunk of people that do. So how does Mojang rate an update that appeals to everyone in this case? In recent years, we have seen Mojang do one big content update focusing on a specific theme. In these updates, we see a variety of content added to help appeal to new players. In the Tricky Trials update, which just recently dropped, there is a big focus on combat, adding a new dungeon and a new weapon for players to use. But also in that update were brand new paintings, a new contraption that created blocks, and the mob from last year's mob vote. These don't directly involve combat, but they are there to add content in places that haven't seen love in a while. I think this also just shows that Mojang isn't always putting its full manpower into just the theme, but also constantly implementing new features that the community would want. Speaking about what the community wants, the best way to engage with the community is to engage with them, obviously. And Mojang found a way to do that with the community content votes. However, when it comes to the features listed in the mob votes, not all of them are ready to go, like hit the button and then Armadillo gets added to the game. Sure, would I love all the mobs to be added in? Of course. I loved all the mobs from last year, and I'd be so happy to see more content added into places that don't have any, like crabs on the beach. Yeah, some of the reason for these mob votes existing is to start up a lot of hype and interest in the game again, but also to make the players feel like they're being listened to. Of course, this isn't how last year's mob vote went at all, but I don't think Mojang is trying to act maliciously by hosting the vote. Although I don't remember previous mobs that lost getting announced recently, I think Mojang would, at one point, add them in when the time is right. Like, let's say they decided to make a beach update, then crabs probably have a good chance to show up again. Another problem with adding in content is that you might have too much. Now, bear with me, I know I sound crazy. What do you mean there's a problem with having too much content? A problem with many people getting into games is that many games have a hard learning curve. I know that there are many games out there that have started up and have absolutely no idea what I was doing. And I was just in the tutorial. I have the same problem when it comes to these massive mod packs for Minecraft. You can do many different things in a big mod pack like All the Mods 9, but at the same time, it also starts to stray away from the simple charm Minecraft has for so many players. Of course, I'm not saying that huge mod packs suck, because that is not the case at all. I remember playing packs like Tekkit as a kid and creating huge factories. Still, most people prefer the simplicity of cutting down a tree and building a house. It's just better for Mojang to take their time and create something well researched and tested for players to enjoy without having to refer to a wiki just to figure out how it works. That's why many mobs over the years only have like 1 or 2 mechanics to them, because it's simple and easy to understand. Even with more complex mechanics like enchanting, you don't need to spend hours upon hours figuring out how to enchant. You just add more bookcases to get better stuff. Although, I do wish that Mojang would make potion crafting a little bit simpler, because that makes no sense at all. We hear a lot about how game development is difficult, yet it's still a hard concept to grasp. Even myself, who has actual game development experience, I still can't determine how long it will take a studio to create something without actually being there. Even outside of how long a game mechanic might take to create, the game mechanic might not even fit the overall game design. It's easy to start to get into the mindset of calling the developer lazy because they can't add in something as simple as a crab, but in reality, a lot of developers want to ensure a great experience because, for most people, this is their passion. Looking back on the last 2 years of development, there hasn't been as many features I actually disliked. Much of the stuff Mojang has developed for Minecraft is fun and exciting. I just recently got back into playing Minecraft again, and the core gameplay is enough to keep me playing. I haven't touched everything added in the past 3 years, and that's fine. I'm still having a lot of fun. I think it's fine to be frustrated that your mob didn't win in the mob vote. I know I would have been mad, and I don't think anyone's gonna get mad at you for being upset about that. Well, at least anyone reasonable, of course. But you know what? I hope that one day that your great idea gets added to Minecraft. I know I'm hoping for the chocolate mod to get added in sometime, but who's to know? And either way, let's be honest, some dude probably already made your idea into a mod like 3 years ago. But now that we're at the end, thank you for watching my video. It's taken me a while to get everything written, everything set up, get the footage, and as you can tell, this is my first time recording myself. But, you know, I had a lot of fun creating this video. And I have a notes app full of ideas on my phone right now, just I'm ready to get to yapping about. So maybe you guys can stick around and subscribe to see what else I put out. I'm planning to make some more videos before the year ends, of course, but I don't know how long that's going to take me. I'm still kind of new to this entire thing. But again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a good one. See ya!